Yeah. Y'all know what it is.
Get to the floor, what you waiting for? 'Cause we can ride the beat straight to the top. Been waiting so long, and now it's my time to show 'em all that it's not a game. I don't care what I'm looking like, I just gotta show you that I'm not going nowhere. If you about it, I don't doubt it. Show me that you're showing about it, about it.
Just about midway through this pilot season of Life in the Now TV's Pastors and Ministers' Wives series, we meet our next pastor's wife, Tarisha Rogers, wife of Roosevelt Rogers of Old Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church in Havana, Florida. On this particular morning, she's doing what she does best, hosting a breakfast event for the wives and other women who are interested in the series. The breakfast, set in all pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, is only the second time all the women have gotten together to meet about ways to make the series more than just a show. Today, the discussion surrounds officially introducing a Pastors and Ministers' Wives Association, something Lady Rogers joined in to support from the very beginning. In fact, it was during a women's conference at her church that the idea to get started with the series began. Today, Lady Rogers sits down with host Nicky Yarborough to share more of her story of being young in ministry and growing in her role as a pastor's wife.
From the ground, from the foundation where you really wanted to pull some ladies together, and you just, took it upon yourself and said, look, can I just do the first one? And you set up everything, and it's beautiful in here. And just being a pastor's wife, and you guys have only been pastoring for what, 2 years? Yeah, so you're young. This is all kind of sort of new to you, but you're doing a great job. I just want to let you know. And there's a lot of younger ladies that are looking up to you. They're looking at you, and they see you as a role model because you're young. You're standing with your husband. You're doing ministry. You're doing ministry stuff now. So how has that been over the last 2 years?
It's been awesome. It's been a learning experience. It's a road that I've never traveled before,
right.
And but it's been great. And like you said, I know that there are a lot of young ladies that are looking up to me.
Right.
So I enjoy what I do, and I want to do it to please God. It's not about me, because if it was about me, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. Because I'm a shy, reserved person, but I know I have to do this for God to get the glory out of it. So I'm just willing to be used by Him.
Well, I definitely see the growth. I guess it was last year when I came here and did your birthing purpose conference.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! From then till now, I see so much growth. I mean, I really see what God has done in your life over that time, because you stepped out then, and you told me, you was like, well, this is the first time that I'm really stepping out, and I'm just going to take it all the way. And it was awesome. We had a wonderful time, had wonderful speakers, and that shows a lot. You just start, you have to give God something. If you could just give Him a little bit, and He'll just start opening up things to you. And now I see, like I said, there's so much growth, and there's so much more to do, and so much more that God wants to use you to do. So I'm just happy. I'm happy to have you here.
I'm happy that God connected us.
Oh,
Everybody don't know, but I was getting my hair done, and I was introduced to you. And at that very moment, God said, this is who I want you to speak during that conference. And that's how we connected.
Right.
Through connecting with you, I connected with other first ladies, and this is part of what God wants me to do. This is going to help me get to where I need to be in God. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. It's all God, because if we truly are obedient to God, we will never miss out.
Right.
Because He will always have somebody just waiting, somebody waiting to fulfill a certain part of what you need.
Right.
You know, because you know, you wanted to do different things. You wanted to meet other ladies as well as I did.
Right.
I mean, I'm like, God, I don't know a lot of people. What am I gonna do? You know, I'm just moving back into town. So I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Whatever. But because I was obedient to come back, He has really connected me with some great women. And I thank God for you and your husband, because I'm telling you, Pastor Rogers gave me a word maybe about a week ago. And I was blown away. I'm telling you, I was like, oh my God, I'm just in tears. My eyes all welling up. And I'm like, look at this word Pastor Rogers gave me. I mean, it was so heartfelt and so touching. So I know what you're getting. I know the word that you're getting. I know the growth. And one thing about being a pastor's wife, you have the ability to grow. There's so much you can take from it. You can't just look at it like, oh, well, I'm just his wife, and you know, I go to church to support him. No, that's your pastor. Right. You know what I'm saying? And even though right now, you know, I'm not with my ex-husband anymore, but I took so much from him. Like, he taught me so much. So I don't dwell on the bad that went on in the marriage. I dwell on everything that I took from it. Right. You know, there's this saying, people would say, take the meat and throw out the bones. So I took the meat, and so that's why I can continue to flow. I can continue to go forward, because you have purpose and you have destiny on the inside of you, and they water it. And if they water it right, it will flourish. So I truly thank God for y'all. And so what's coming up next? What is it that's on your agenda?
What's on my agenda is at the end of the year, I plan to bring the women of the church together for a Christmas social.
Oh, wow.
And it's not going to be a churchy program. It's just going to be something we can be laid back, just have fun and fellowship as women.
Love that.
For the end of the year, just to wrap up the end of the year and get prepared to go into the next year, what God has for us.
Well, I will definitely be here. So you just let me know. And that's such a good thing, because sometimes we just want to relax.
Right.
You know, we just want to relax. We want to just chill and fellowship with other ladies, because you wear so many hats.
Right.
You know, you're the first lady of the church. You're a mother. You have 2 children, right? 2. I mean, and I know that's another job all in itself. How old are your kids?
9. Kayla, she's 9, and Trenton, he's 4.
Wow, so, 9 and 4. See, not like me. Mine have grown. 14 and 17 at this point. But that's a job all by itself. And then you work full time,
taking the online class for my job.
Wow. So see, it's a lot that you know, we're not just first ladies or just the pastor's wife. Many hats.
Trying to find balance.
Right. And it will come, and believe me, so many other people that are coming up are watching you, and they see what you're doing. You're doing an awesome job. And thank you so much for just sharing with us. Thank you. All right.
When we come back, we take a break from the breakfast to head into the sanctuary for an exclusive interview with Pastor Roosevelt and Lady Tarisha Rogers on being married for 18 years and spending the past 2 years leading Old Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church, when Pastors and Ministers' Wives returns.
The founders of America's 3 biggest pizza companies are named Tom, Frank, and John. But Marco's Pizza has a founder named Pasquale, who was actually born in Italy. Marco's, authentic Italian pizza.
Well, I first started skating with my friend. He had an extra board, and then he just gave it to me, and I've been skating ever since. Well, when I don't land a trick and I have my mind set on something and I'm not getting what I want, I just keep going for it until I get it right. My mom, she didn't go to college, so she wants me to experience that whole thing, and so I could end up getting like a good job. I think to get into college, I'll have to be determined. Just like when I want to get a new trick, and skating's helped me realize I've got what it takes.
Pastors and Ministers' Wives, a new series presented by Life in the Now TV with Nicky Yarborough. You can find out more or watch the series live online at nowismytime.org. It's only been 2 years since Pastor Roosevelt and Lady Tarisha Rogers accepted the charge to lead the congregation of Old Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church in Havana, Florida. Since then, they've been dedicated to building the people up and helping them birth their dreams through conferences and events like the Pastors and Ministers' Wives Association Breakfast. Today, in their first sit-down interview together, they share what life is like leading the church and how ministry for them truly began.
Hey, I am so excited to do this interview with you guys. I mean, it's been time in the making because, you know, I've been talking to you, Lady Rogers, about doing this show, and I know you were kind of shy about it, but I thank God that you opened up and actually allowed us to come over here and to do this. And you know, before I ever knew you guys, I would always hear about Old Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church. I'm like, who is the pastor over there and where is the church? You know, I would always hear about Old Jerusalem and New Jerusalem. So I'm excited to be here with you guys today. And you know, we're doing the Pastors and Ministers' Wives series, and you have really been one of the ones that really stood out because I knew you were kind of apprehensive, but you have opened up and blossomed so much, Lady Rogers, in this season, and I see so much growth. And I'm happy to have Pastor Rogers right here, right beside you. Pastor, I'm going to start out with you.
Okay.
How has this 2 years been with you being a pastor of Old Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church and your wife taking on the role of the first lady, or the only lady, the main lady, the lady in the ministry?
Well, if I can go back some, I'm at Old Jerusalem because this is where she was.
Wow.
We met when I was 18, and we started dating as college students.
Wow.
And she was already in the church. I was going to church, but really wasn't doing church.
Right.
And I just decided, well, if I'm going to be with her, let me kind of start going where she is.
Wow.
Had no intention of preaching, let alone pastoring.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you were always saved and always been in the ministry. I'm serious. This is a testimony. I want to hear more about this. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pastor.
No, I was the typical college type guy. You know, trying to feel my way in life. Had no clear direction.
Wow.
And so was into the rap music. Was into hanging out with my buddies. And so just coming, I actually started sitting on the very back pew.
Wow.
So that as soon as church was out, I can get out the door. And then it was in my senior year of college that the Lord called me in the ministry. And we had a long talk, and she was like, you need to make sure, because, you know, if the Lord called you, that means that's going to be a change for my life.
Exactly.
And so that was in 1999, and we started preaching here then, and kind of sat under some pastors and matured into what God has me today.
Right.
And so fast forward some years, when the Lord called me first to be interim pastor, then the church voted for me to become the full-time pastor here at the church. And it has been tremendous. I would not trade this for the world. I thank God has given me some of the greatest people to pastor, has positioned us in a great community to just make an impact.
Right.
My whole thing is impacting lives.